Welcome to my Slayer task guide covering over the creature's Abyssal Lord, which does require 115 Slayer, although if you have a Wilder Pie, you can technically do this at 109, as the Pie is a +6 boost for 6 minutes straight, meaning you don't need to repot every single minute just for that little boost. Another super requirement for this would have to be the City of Senntisten, so you have access to the Animate Dead spell that is located in the Ancient Spells. For this, you'll need 84 magic, along with having 30 earth, 15 death, 15 blood, and 6 soul runes. Casting this spell lasts 12 minutes. And speaking of another spell, we'll be using the, I'm not sure how to say it, Exquisite fire spell, which is just 2 fires and 1 blood. As for the equipment, this kind of depends on what you do have. I can do this technically with 4 and 5 piece Ganondormic, which costs about 4.5 mil max for all 5 pieces. But if you have enough money to buy Cinderbane gloves, buy it and then just remove the Ganondormic gloves in that place. The aura, you have 2 choices. The Supreme Slayer aura, which has a 10% chance while killing monsters, it will not count as your task. The other aura is Vampirism, although I just like to use the Pack Yak with sharks. And then, like I said earlier about the monster being on task, you can force it daily with the Helm or Mask of the Abyss. And you can just force it once a day, so it's extremely good. And then let's say you get a task of 280. For each lord you kill, it will count as 5 abyssal creatures. So you can't really kill 280 for that increased drop rate. You'll get that reduced by divided by 5. The Ganondormic armor you can upgrade if you have the Sea Singers, which you could buy the helmet. Actually, you could buy everything but the boots and gloves for a Sea Singer. And then if you're lucky enough to have done enough raids, you can get the non-acto version or the acto version of Primeval, which is tier 90. If you're pretty rich, you can buy the Cripploom boots, which is about 250 mil, and the Cripploom gloves, which are 30 mil. The helmet, plate body, and plate legs, like they're 500 plus. They're extremely expensive. For the weapon, the highest tier possible. In my case, I'm just using the Staff of Sliske, which I think I bought at like 380 mil. So it's fairly cheap, I want to say, because the Inquisitor Staff does not work, which is only tier 82. The amulet, you want to use an Amulet of Souls, as we will be using Soul Split. The Scripture of Jazz, it's pretty much the best in slot book, and it's the absolute cheapest. I believe it's under 15 mil. And then you'll notice I have a rune pouch. I'm wearing one, and I have 2 additional. That is just because the different amount of runes we need for the Animate Dead spell and the Fire spell. Let's make our way to the Abyssal Lords, which I did just squeeze through the Abyssal Gate, which you'll actually need to kill these lords beforehand to get the little gate key. If not, you'll just need to run south past the Savage, continue going south past the Beast, and then you'll need to go north through the little corridor, and then you'll be at the Abyssal Lords. With the gate key, you pretty much skip about, I don't know, 30 seconds probably. Now let's climb down this broken railing. And then this kind of depends how many you want to do. If you have Ganodermic, I advise to just place the Ada coil between the two north ones right here. If you have Acto, non-Acto, or Sea Singers, you can place it right here. So from this very corner, go 2 south and 1 west. This will aggro 3 on you. So it just depends on the amount of gear. In my case, I'll be just doing this with Ganodermic. So let's place the coil, activate the spell, shrink and overload, very slow soul split. We'll load the cannon and we'll attack this lord. For the action bar, I kind of just put a bunch of good abilities in a row, which I think it's kind of good. I mean, it's the one I've been using forever for these. That will have to be Sunshine, Tsunami, Corruption Blast, Chain, which aggroes 2 lords. If you're at the other cannon spot, it can aggro up to 4, in which case you'll need Primeval so you can actually tank all 4 of them. Dragon Breath, Wild Magic, Asphyxiate, Tuska's Wrath. Keep in mind, this does have a 15-second cooldown if you're not on the task. If you're on the task, it's pretty much 2 minutes. Followed by Sonic Wave, Sacrifice, Rack, which can occasionally turn to Rack and Ruin, Combust, and Impact. And then I kind of forgot about this part, but you can actually augment your plate body and plate legs. For me, I did the Impatient and Crackling perks for just extra DPS. The other ones, I did Biting 2 with Demon Slayer, which you do benefit from, and the Absorbative 4 perk. Usually, you want to have Devoted and Enhanced Devoted, which you're praying Soul Split, which you will not benefit whatsoever. And since I'm running a little bit low on health, I'll just activate Excalibur, which should bring me back to my health. And then remember, if you do have the Vampir's Immortal, you should be fine with Ganodermic, tanking 3 of them. 2 of them could sometimes be scary. It just depends if you aggro. Like right there, my chain aggro the south one. So yeah, I might get smacked a little bit, as you'll see. But that's what bringing a pack yak is for, just in case of that happens. Now, a good drop that these actually do would be Crystal Triscaline Fragments, which I'm gonna be honest, these drop them so commonly. Like, I'm talking like 8, 9 separate little key drops an hour. But the big ticket item will have to be the Abyssal Scourge, which is a tier 92 main hand whip. It does have a passive effect when damaging attacks. It will put a bleed on the monster, and then it'll kind of stack up, and over time as you're killing a monster, the bleed will build up so much that it will start smacking the boss. Much like I'm getting smacked right now from 3 lords. And again, this is just in Ganodermic, so if you have better, you could expect your health to maintain a little bit higher. Let's see. I believe, well, over time, you should be able to expect to get 3,000 pure essence hourly, 155 Wines of Zamrock, 86 Hydrix Bolt Tips, 500 Mud Runes, and 229 Soul Runes. Although, just remember, you do use a good amount of Soul Runes from time to time here. And just because I'm dying, I'll swap to my Acto. which, I mean, doesn't really make much of a difference for the aim dead spell. It only increased the little number by like 20-ish. So yeah, luckily, that's what you bring the yak for. And you know what? I think 4 of them might attack me, so I might die while recording this. But, oh well. For charms wise, these are completely terrible. In 1 hour, I was getting on average of about, I think, 17 crimson charms. Like, they're not common enough. The blue charms, yeah, there was a lot of hours I wasn't even getting one. Like, they're that rare. For the experience per hour, if you're using Ganodermic, you'll need to actually be eating a lot, which can affect your XP rates, so you should be able to expect to get about 850,000 experience per hour. If you're using Acto, which I am currently since I swapped, you should be able to get about 980,000 combat experience per hour. If you have Crit Bloom, I don't even know if it affects the kills per hour that much. It just makes you use a lot less food, although with Acto, you maintain it, except, of course, if you're tanking 3 or 4 of them, in which case, yeah, you'll start to notice the difference. For the GP per hour, I was able to get about 5.9 mil, although I'll round that down a little bit to 5.8 mil per hour, and that is because a lot of these drops have been crashing lately, although like little herbs, they are bouncing back up, so that's always super good to hear. And then remember, while you're killing them for the crystal key fragments, you can actually get all 3 in the same trip, build it, and you'll get the next one. So just make sure to kind of pay attention, because 3 inventory spots versus 1 does add up over time. As right now, I only have 3 sharks, although my yak technically has more food. With that, thank you all so much for watching this Abyssal Lord Slayer test guide, and enjoy the rest of your day.